3, 2, 1. What is going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by today for the Procast. I believe this is the 7th Procast that we've been doing. And today, for a special guest, it's the 10th? No, I think it's 7.
Whoa.
I think you're lying. And for the first time on the podcast, we have Simba with us today. Simba, how are you doing, man?
Fantastic. I really appreciate being on. Thanks, man. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man, we've been excited to have this one with you. I think it's been like 2 weeks since we started talking about it, so
yeah,
lot of hype for Simba being here. And as always, actually, SDNW I think has been on all of them but one, maybe. Or no, you've been on all of them, haven't you?
I think I've been on all of them, man.
Me and SDNW are I gotta change the
taking over, baby.
I gotta change the template. Another announcement before we get started. Abiogenesis will not be on another podcast. He's taking a break from the South Park content creation and not the community, but the extracurriculars of the community. So everybody give Abiogenesis a little round of applause for all the help that he's done and all that he's meant to the community. He's got like a production company that he's working on, so a lot of big stuff for him. Yep. And otherwise, SDNW, how you doing, man? Nice sweater.
Hey, thank you, man.
Isn't that classy?
Family Christmas. I'm good and drunk already.
Dude, what a classy sweater, though. In all seriousness, that is a very classy sweater.
Is it? Would you call that a turtleneck? What do you call that? A half turtle?
I don't know, man. Is this like I don't know if it's like a shawl neck or like what do you call this?
Dude, that's a term I've never heard.
I just like buy shirts.
What's up, everybody in chat?
I look like Elsa. Smoke us as I look like Elsa. God damn, man. Y'all gonna get me singing up in here.
All right, so just so everybody knows, we do have a giveaway going on for Santa, and we'll give them away at the end of the stream. Exclamation point ho 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 in chat, and you'll get added to that. So, throughout it, yeah, get in on that as anybody can. One Santa at the end of the stream. And make sure that anybody new comes in. If you guys want to tell anybody new, that you can hit up the ho ho ho, and we're gonna do that at the end.
Get in here.
Get everybody here. Yeah, make sure you tell everybody in your team chats. You make sure everybody knows, because we're gonna talk hella Team Wars tonight, guys. As you can see, our first topic is Team Wars. Our second topic is still Team Wars, and then we're gonna talk about Santa. But to start off, let's just talk about Team Wars. Simba, how hype are you for Team Wars?
I was ridiculously hype initially, and I'm still very much looking forward to it. I think it's an awesome format of the game. I'm really looking forward to. Is audio still going on? I don't know. Okay, in any case, I'm really hyped for the game. I think Team Wars is going to be a great format potentially for getting teams involved with each other and interacting on a level that they don't normally interact on, because it's not really about donations. It's about working as a team to make a good deck and fight together. I'm pretty hyped. I would say the recent news about upgrading, which I'll hold off on now, has been a bit of a downer. I'm not definitely feeling as hyped as I was, but I'm more excited than I am not for Team Wars.
Good to hear, man. I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I think there's some, as a whole, it's going to be really fun, but there are some parts of it that I guess disagree with would be the best word to do it. I think that they could have done it differently. But I do kind of sort of get it, I guess. And we can talk about that a little bit more later. But SDNW, you excited for this shit?
Dude, I'm fucking excited for this shit. I'm ready to go. I've been looking forward to it. I've been wanting something that really brings the team together, that really I don't know, draws top players together to coordinate, to really work as a team. Yeah, that's a terrible way of explaining it. I'm already buzzed. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I'm fucking hyped for it. I enjoyed the original Team Wars back in the day, which was for the hat. I don't know what kind of hat you want to call it. What was it, like necromancer hat? I forgot what it was called, but it was the 2 horns and the little skull in the front, and
yeah.
It was the top 3 teams who did whatever got the most event points during the first team rated event, and I thought that was super cool. I would have loved for it to have continued. And now that they're doing the Team Wars, it's striking up a fire in my belly, baby.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are excited for it. Some people are probably, taking it with a little bit of a grain of salt, I guess, because it could be bad, could be awesome, but
the fact that it's broken up into brackets, into tiers, I should say. So like woods, I assume it's gonna be wood, bronze, silver, and legends tiers.
Yeah, it'll be something like that.
Yeah, that should make things a little better.
Yeah,
if the upgrading's right. If the upgrading is good, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's just jump into like the kind of first topic, which is the first phase of the Team Wars, which is going to be the voting process. Now, if you didn't know, the way that the voting is going to work is that each team will get 12 pairs of cards, 2 cards for each slot, and then your team as a whole will vote on which card they want in the deck. So you don't get 24 cards and you get to pick and choose which ones you want in your deck. Each team gets two options for each slot, and so it's a 50-50 kind of 50-50, which one to do. Oh god, yeah, I knew that would happen. And so that is pretty cool, I think, because it kind of lowers the amount of total like discussion and stuff that would have to happen. Because if it was like a true draft where you got like 30 cards and you got to pick and choose, that would be really difficult. So they definitely streamlined this for the teams.
Now, I've got a big question with that. Is it going to be you get a list of all the different pairs right off the bat? Say you've got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, whatever, and then you have the first one in that list be the one you're voting on, or will you just get that first of the list and not be able to see the rest that you're voting on? So will you be able to in advance be like, okay, I want this card, this card, this card, and this card in this deck, and know like off the bat, will these be able to be cards that I can pick from, or will they just give you 2 cards blind? So day one or whatever, they're like, yo, here is Enforcer and Friar, pick. Will it be that you get to see the rest of the cards that'll be possible for throwing into your deck?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the way it'll work is you can kind of see in this. Maybe the picture doesn't show it, but I assume that everyone will see the whole deck, and you'll be able to click on each slot and then pick which one you want to vote for, because then then you can figure out what's the best deck.
All voting for a deck in one go.
Yeah, because he has a good point. If it shows you them one pick at a time, then like you'll have some teams that do a strategy like sacrificial lambs. Someone just goes through, documents what all the dyads are, and then you've got 49 other people to vote. Because it doesn't really matter if you're working as a team. One person goes whatever way they want to. It makes no difference, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make a huge difference, I don't think, if they do it all at once or one at a time. But obviously, it's way smarter to do them all at once. I don't know why you do it one at a time.
Yeah.
If they do them all at once, then you'll be able to pick, you'll be able to strategize a full team and be like, yo, here team, this is the deck that I think would be best, and then you could vote on it. Whereas if it was like a blind right off the bat, you'd be like, okay, well, we need to decide which one of these cards. And then next turn it's blind which of these 2 cards.
Oh
next turn
man,
it's blind.
You're talking about permanent votes per card until each one is decided. There's no way.
No.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be.
I'm hoping that's not how it is.
Yeah, I'm partially assuming that you'll be able to change your vote, and your vote will lock in at the end of the voting process. So it's not like I accidentally clicked vote and I'm voted. So that'll let you do. So the way that I would do it in a team would be, you vote for the absolute definite cards, like the 6 cards that you absolutely need in there. Everybody votes for those ones, and then from there, then you discuss the next ones. You discuss, okay, do we want this one or this one? Do we want this one or this one? Who's got more of this guy at 6? Who's got more with this guy at 4? Et cetera, et cetera. And then you can kind of pick. But most of the time, like a level 6 Ike versus a level 6 Sally, more people are probably gonna have Ike than Sally, right? So Ike might just be the best choice, if so facto, without any real competition between it.
Yeah.
So I think it will be, you'll be able to see them all. You get to click on the slot, the two will pop up, then you pick it, and then it'll kind of show you the deck as a whole, so you can kind of see, okay, this is the deck that my votes would do. Like, do I think that looks good? Stuff like that. Because you got to remember that there are teams that do not have Discords. There are teams that do not talk to each other on Messenger, on Facebook, online. There's team, and that's a higher percentage than the teams that are watching this podcast right now for sure. Like, we got to remember, we're like the top 10% of this game.
Well,
and so,
what's the chat window in the game? Isn't it 30 messages and then they're gone?
Yeah,
exactly.
Trying to coordinate this in a 30 message.
I could not imagine trying to coordinate this.
There's no way.
Game chat.
I wouldn't doubt that there's a chat overhaul coming with Team Wars as well.
I have heard that. Is there any okay? I've heard that. I haven't seen anything to make me believe that that's the case, but I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm
sure Glanzer can't say anything on that.
Of course not. But who knows?
I mean, I actually don't know. I don't know on that one. If I could talk about it or not.
Don't know shit.
But I would hope. Let's just say that I would hope that would come with, because you're right. It would be very difficult to talk this out in a chat when by the time you get to the game, the fucking whole chat's already gone, and you're like, what the fuck? These morons were talking about dicks and pussy, and I don't know what everybody was talking
That's
about.
Exactly what it would be too. Be someone spanning like five bars per conversation.
Yeah, they make a mistake and they do another message to correct the mistake.
Yep.
Think about the open teams having donation runs on them also. So you've got all these people like joining and leaving the team.
Oh yeah.
You won't be able to see anything, dude. There's no way. There's no hope.
For sure.
So I think the voting, having it be the pairs, I think is probably the best way that they could have done it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dyads is totally fair. It's really similar format to a lot of other restricted games. So, like, if you look at like Hearthstone Arena, similar idea, right? 3 cards, pick one. This is 2 cards, pick one. I think it's fair. It seems like a good way to do it.
And based on how those work, the Arena, Hearthstone, Minion Masters has it. Clash Royale has something similar. You're almost always matched up with something that's either the same rarity or the same energy or mana cost. So we're not going to have to decide between Mecha Timmy.
If it's Outlaw Peak or Som, like,
right, exactly.
I don't know, but I've got a 5 Outlaw.
What do you want to pick, guys?
Like, I think we should do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that they're intelligent in that. And also about the voting, it's Buck answered on the podcast or on their stream that they have the ability to make every single team get the same choices, but they also have the ability to make each team get different choices, which is more of a typical draft bit, because everybody gets different draft mode option. I myself would prefer it to be every team gets the same choices, but that would be kind of boring. At the same time,
if every team gets the same choices, then you can sit there and strategize and know, like, okay, so we had these 2 options. We know Team 2 has those 2 options as well, so we can plan for.
Right.
I think it would be a sort of a next level kind of planning, kind of some 3D chess.
Because if you can remember the picks when you're playing against them, when they play Stand of Many Moons, that they don't have Mecha, or know that they don't have the other one. So that I agree, it does.
On the other hand, who knows if they play a random card? Who knows what the fuck else they have in their deck? Which which would be cool. But at the same time, this is war. Okay, this is Team Wars. This is Team Wars, guys. Serious shit.
I'll reserve judgment because they said they're going to tweak around with it, so I think it's very likely that we can see both. So I'm totally
we'll see them both for sure
until I see what both of them look like. My bias is probably towards having every team have the same set, because in theory, it's as even as you can possibly get it. But I do agree that it could get pretty monotonous if it's everyone obviously is going to pick this deck.
But it is only max 6 games. It's not like you're going in a challenge mode where you're playing 12 games, 12 games, 12 games, 12 games.
Hey, well, maybe you're playing 6. I plan to play 3 games.
Well, that's why I said that is why I said at max, Simba. But yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be that bad, and every deck would be not quite the same, because no one's gonna vote on the exact same 12 cards probably, because a lot of people be like,
Whoa, guys, pause the chat. Smokeout just said that Simba looks like average guy.
I don't appreciate that actually. Do I really though? Is it because I'm like
Okay, Simba, I gotta be honest.
You do
The moment,
dude,
the first time you popped up on my screen when we were setting it up earlier, I was like, oh fuck, did I call the wrong person?
Dude, I feel like I'm getting like negged here, man. What the fuck, you know?
Oh my god, I didn't want to be the one to say it, but now that someone else is saying it, dude, cat's out of the bag.
We're gonna have words later, buddy.
You're definitely average guy's little brother or something.
Oh my god.
Is he behind you? Is this a troll? Am I gonna get trolled?
What the fuck, dude?
This is the most long-standing, elaborate troll I've ever fucking been a part of.
Average Simba,
Average Simba, dude. There's already average.
You do have a 7. You do have a 7 in the beginning of your name, Illuminati over here, and your name's Illuminati. Holy shit, dude! It's all coming together.
The connections, strong connection.
That's fucking great, dude. Oh man. Average guy being here aside. I think phase 1 they nailed. I really do think they nailed it. I don't think there's any issues with phase 1. I think phase 3 is going to be good too. I think all the contention's going to cover with phase 2.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Which you can see here if you're watching. This is what the team's score will look like after you voted on your team. It'll show the team right there, and then it'll show what levels you are. And from what I can see here, this is definitely like a wood league team, because in gold leagues everything's going to probably be a little bit higher. So let's go over that, the upgrading. This is the first the one you're looking at now is the first dev update where they didn't go into much detail. The second one is over here. Let's see if we can pull up those numbers that Buck had.
I think the second one is what matters, because the second one is where they actually talk about how they're planning to structure it. And of course there's flexibility, but the upgrade model is going to decide whether this is ultimately a skill format or whether it is a spend format. I mean, and I'm not someone who's totally naive to the world and says, oh, you know, this is going to be a free feature that they make just so everyone super loves it. Like, I'm not dumb, right? But yeah. I do hope that team versus team ultimately is decided on the skill level of the players on a team, as opposed to the total dollar amount that team has put towards the game. Because if you look at the numbers they have, if you are going to get 60 bottle caps per day in Gold League, that's 180 bottle caps per player for the week. 180 across 50 players gives you 9,000 bottle caps.
Correct.
9,000 bottle caps will give you a deck of full level 7 commons, level 6 rares, level 6 epics, and level 6 legends. That is dumb. That is not. Why even have an upgrade system if you're going to upgrade every single card to the maximum level that you have in your deck? I don't see the point.
Yeah, and I mean, the argument for that would be that's why there's leagues. I mean, that would be the only argument that I would have for that. But otherwise, I agree with you. I was hoping it would be like, you know, we'd go into a deck that's like challenge mode level, friendly level, and instead of all the epics being 3, maybe all the epics are 4, maybe all the legends are 2 or 3, and then the commons are 6. So it'd be more of a meta before the swap kind of thing. Back in the day when everyone was running, you know, level 6 commons and shit.
A 6-5-4-3 at the highest level sounds great, right? I mean, I think there should be some decisions in upgrading. It shouldn't just be, I'm going to upgrade everything indiscriminately to the point that I want to. So I just don't see the point of even having an upgrade system if they're going to make it that way. I do agree, though, for sure, Glanzer, that the different leagues should absolutely have higher levels of cards at the higher points in the league. 100%.
Yeah, the problem that this game has is that, I mean, it's really hard to discuss the game in as far as like the levels go, because to Red Links, the levels are like Silver Shield to Legend. Like Legend 15k to Legend 1 doesn't matter to them at all. Like they don't treat them any different, and they never have. And there's an argument to that where, you know, yeah, it doesn't increase the gap anymore. Like if David had been getting an extra rare every PvP pack because he was top 25, like it'd be even worse, right? It'd be even worse. So there's something to be said. I personally wish that the bottle caps were also dictated by your tier, your current tier in legendary, like the top 250, top 750 or 500, whatever it is now. They get slightly different bottle caps.
Okay.
And then that would be, but the argument where that would be, it'd be pay to win sort of ish, but at the same time, it would completely get rid of deranking for the week at least. But then you just fucking on the weekend you derank again, So it's like there's really no way to stop
deranking in general. That'd be fantastic.
There's really no stopping that.
I really like that idea as long as it's a reasonable difference between those tiers, right?
Right.
So like, say if your top 100. So 60 is a stupid number, right? We can just throw 60 out of the window per day. That's a dumb number. So like, let's say it's like 26 at the highest level. And then if you are ranked 1000, it's like 22.
Right.
That's a measurable difference, right? It's going to make a difference in your team if you've got people down there. So you're not going to derank. But at the same time, like,
yeah, it could be the difference between one level, and your deck is one level stronger, which could be the difference of the whole, not like one level across the board, but like one card is one level stronger.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is, could turn the game, you never know. But one thing I will say about like the leveling to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 or whatever, how many people have level 7 commons? Like how many people truly do?
I don't have level 7 commons.
There's so few people in the game that have level 7 commons.
I ran into a new kid 18 today that had a level 7 friar.
Good for them, right?
Yeah, good for them for the patience for sitting there requesting a level 7 common.
Like what the fuck? Friar of all people too? Friar?
Yeah.
Hey, Friar is a fucking monster.
He must really hate chip decks, man.
He's a monster.
Yeah, what we're not even talking about though is the fact that it's a static amount to upgrade per level, regardless of rarity, which is probably the worst part of it. Because if a legend upgrading a level costs the same as a common, like why would you ever upgrade the common, right? A legend at 4 is so monstrously more powerful than every other card in the game. It doesn't make any sense to have it cost the same amount to upgrade a legend 3 levels as it does to get a rare from 3 to 6. I mean, it's completely different, night and day difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it the exact same amount for like?
Based on what Buck said in the last thing, but could be wrong. He might have been mistaken. Like it might not be exactly that, but it seems that it's for every. So if you want to bring a card plus 1 level, it's 100 bottle caps. No matter if you're going from legend 1 to 2 or from common 4 to 5. And then if you want to bring them up plus 6 levels, which would be from, wait.
Well, their exact statement.
From legend. So a legend from 1 to 7 would be 2050 bottle caps. But a common from 4 to 6 would only be like 850 or no 500 bottle cap. Was it 500? I think it was 500.
It's 500. Yeah. If you look at the bottom bullet on the point you have on the screen right there, that even says that it's the same cost across all rarities, right?
Right.
Because the first word is a common card to max level,
and
right then
there.
Legendary up, right? So they're literally saying it's the same for all the cards.
Right.
I mean, of course, you can't go up 6 levels on a common because it starts at level 4.
Right.
But they're saying it costs the same amount for all
rarities.
rarities.
What if you could though? What if you could have a level 10 common?
Well, isn't that? I think there's other games that work that way. I'm pretty sure Clash Royale is more like that, where you can get like the commons up to this like crazy level where they can compete with legends. But that's a completely different topic than this of having commons be competitive. So I won't bother with that.
Yeah, I think that's been a discussion that's happened one too many times at this point.
But yeah, no, I agree. Like, I don't see why it would be the exact same. Like, it should be scaled in some way. I don't know what the logic behind. I mean, it's kind of when he said that the rarity will affect the upgrade cost. He's not technically wrong, but it's not what any of us thought he meant. Like, it's pretty clear that when we think that, it's like, oh, a legend will take 400 to upgrade 1 level, where a common will take 200, something like that. Like, that's what everybody thought when he said that. And then for us to get the actual info, and it's every card is the same. Because even with what 600 total bottle caps, you could have your legends at level 3, and a level 3 legend with a normal challenge mode deck would destroy that challenge mode deck. Like, if you played that one legend really well, you'd get fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, look at these numbers, right? if you were offered 10 legends and wanted to get them all to level 5, you could do it in Gold League the way that it's set up. That's a 10 legend deck at level 5. That's
you can have multiple themes. You can have multiple themes too.
Yeah, it's rainbow, right? It looks like it's rainbow from everything we've seen.
From this picture here.
I love the idea of rainbow. I think that's fantastic.
Me too, man. That's great.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Like, to poison and regen and Jesus, it's gonna be great. But so based on this this picture here, which is all we have to go off of.
They've got the Pocahontas combo with the crack tweak, dude. Can you imagine the two of them together? Oh, dude, the attack speed on that Pocahontas, dude, out of control.
Shit. But so most likely,
is Pocahontas 0.1 faster than Sixer?
She attacks really fucking fast, man. When she's standing there,
Randy, yeah, he attacks faster than SNR, definitely.
Yeah, well, no, I know he attacks faster than. Yeah, he's got to be 0.4, right? 0.4.
I don't know the numbers.
Sixer is 0.5 and Sexty is 0.6, I think. That sounds right to me. Okay, sorry, my own.
In any case, yeah, no, but like for sure, he's the fastest attacker and he does way less damage. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Again, moot point. He's the worst.
Yeah, so
he is the worst.
Based on well, it's just because the fighter is so worthless. Like the tank makes sense.
Not even, man. It's not even the fighter. It's not even the fighter. It's his stats. It's his.
Well, his stats too.
Fucking suck.
He has the exact same health as SNR, but he does like 40%.
130 to 160 something.
Damn.
Yeah. At level 5.
So based on the stuff that we've seen, which is this is literally the only picture we can go off of. We're probably not going to see very many 2 to 3 legend decks. You're probably only going to have one choice for a legend, which goes along with like Hearthstone Arena. You typically only get one legend in your deck, maybe 2.
Very Locking is so smart. I totally agree with it.
So what is this? It's 1 epic or 1 legend, 4 epic or 2 epics.
1, 2,
and then 5, 4 or 4, 5. I think that's what it is.
Something like that. Yeah, I never actually looked through it before.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 4, 5. That's 12, right?
Yeah.
So most likely that's what we're always going to see, or at least something very similar to it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see a bunch of level fucking 5 legends or anything, but it is kind of annoying because like you said, man, if you go up against somebody, if you happen to RNG matchmake into a team where it happens that one of the guys gets the level 5 legend that he has, like, you're fucked, man. You're fucked.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna win. It's probably gonna go poorly.
Unless, I mean, and based on that deck, dude, they don't have any removal in that deck. They're fucking screwed.
You know what? I hope they picked really poorly because that's a horrible deck they put together.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. But it does have the Dougie though, so they'd be just fine.
Oh yeah, Dougie. Fucking Dougie, man. Fucking Dougie. Yeah. No, I'm really excited to see how it works out. Hopefully it works out for the better and it is a competitive format. Even if it is segregated through tiers, by who has the amount of bottle caps that they can farm and shit like that. Even if it is that way, I really look forward to a competitive scene and having it. It's a whole team thing. It's not just say you have fucking David on your team, you're gonna win. It's everyone on the team needs to pull their weight. So I think that's pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I like the fact that like you have to stay, like, it's not just I can play for 5 hours on the weekend and that's it.
Yep.
Like you have to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have to communicate Monday, Tuesday, and play at least the 6 games or 3 games or whatever it takes to finish your battle out on Saturday, Sunday, which kind of separates the teams a bit from what kind of team there is, because there's the casual teams and then there's competitive teams. But right now, what is a competitive team? What does that mean? Yeah. We finish events early. Oh, who gives a shit? Who cares? You finish it on Friday. Oh, who gives a shit? What does that matter?
Yeah, I mean, the format clearly is intended to say like which team is actually the best at this game, like including deck building and gameplay, right? That's the concept that they're going for. And if it's executed without this upgrading system they're advertising, then I think they'll accomplish that. Like, it seems like that's very possible.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
The
and
upgrade system is the wild card in here. How to what extent the upgrade system affects gameplay will be seen. So
and as long in my mind, even with the upgrading system, even if it's like as not great as it seems like it will be, as long as it's competitive within your league, I think it'll be okay. Because I mean, like right now, like the ladder top 25 is almost unattainable unless you've spent quite a bit of change, right? So that's just kind of something that people resign themselves to. Like, I'm free to play, so my goal is to stay in top 250 or to top 500 or whatever, whatever tier you're in. And so this one will be, our team's goal is to get gold. Well, I mean, I guess if gold's the highest, then not like platinum, diamond could be above it, who knows. Like our goal is to just get to gold. Maybe not be the top of gold, maybe not be anywhere in the middle, but just to be there. And so it'll be interesting to see how they do the bracket, because the way that that's going to work is, so every week you are put up against another team or another set of teams in some way, and they are in your bracket, but they're not necessarily in your league or anything like that. So it's just about at the end how many, because so for instance, Nambla could get put up against free to play Canada 420 fuck you, and they have 40 people in their team or something like that, and they didn't get very many buckets they didn't get very many bottle caps, they didn't get very many stuff, they don't have a very leveled cards, but they could outplay and get more points than Nambla, because Nambla's going up against top hitters every single game, whereas this other team is going up against other casual people. They can play better, they beat them, and they get more total team points, because your team points isn't affected by your league. The amount of points that you get for the actual battle stuff, that doesn't matter at all. So that's just like, if let's say you get 3 wins, you get 50 points. If you get 3 wins, you get 50 points without losing points for losing or whatever. So if they get 40 people to get 3 wins, and we had 50 people that got 3 wins, but we also had some people who only got 2 wins, or 40 people but only had 2 wins, then we could lose that bracket even though they're below us in the league and everything like that. And if we were to match up against them, we probably would have fucked their shit up, but that's not how it's going to work. So that'll be really interesting to see how that works. And it could be done really, really well. It could be done really poorly. So it's really kind of a touch and go.
Now it's going to start out where everyone's in Wood League at the start, right?
Say that again?
It's going to start out where everyone's in Wood League, and then we're going to progress from there. So.
Yep, and you won't increase your league until the next week. So you get the points at the end, and then you'll go up. And I'm curious if they'll do like you have to reach a certain amount of trophies or whatever they're going to call it to get to that, or if they'll break it out in a percentage, like the top 5% of team scores are in gold now, and et cetera, et cetera. I wonder how they're going to do that, because otherwise, like, first week we could be wood, second week the top teams will be bronze, so we're still not going to be up at like the 6, 5, 4, 3 or whatever. Maybe we'll slowly
something like that, of like an even ground, like let's see where teams like stack up. They're just going to kind of start everyone off at the bottom and have people work their way up.
Yep, I mean that's pretty close to any other game I've played, where like your PvP trophies or whatever starts at 0 and you just work your way up. And you start ranked at, I mean, those games are like what the levels of your cards are in, like, or like your characters or whatever, that kind of shit. But, I mean, some leagues do, some things do start you at a certain amount. Like they'll start you at 600 trophies, and then if you lose, you drop down because you're not, you're not good enough to stay where you are, and that's based on, like, bronze tier is meant to be 10% of people or 50% of people. Silver tier is meant to be 20% of people. Platinum is meant to be 5% of people. Like that, they try to. Rocket League does that. League of Legends does that. It's all based on the percentage of people you are. It's not like because it'll gradually grow and change as the game progresses. So you could be the exact same deck that you are and be gold, and then in 5 months you'd be bronze because you're no longer in the top percentage. And that's kind of how this works, I guess, because your deck that got you top 25 in a month might not be able to anymore because everybody's progressing, and even if it's slower than most, you're always progressing a little bit. You know, every common, every rare you get is progressing you a little tiny bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting to see how they do that. And I guess that's kind of goes into the league and brackets talk that we were going to talk about. So the way that I understand it, the league will be based on the leagues is based on your total, like your actual performance in the battles. The brackets are going to be kind of random, probably based on how many people are in your team, and then the matchmaking is based on how many people are in your team and what league you're in. So you'll always kind of be matched up against a team where if all of their members got all their bottle caps, they would have a very similar level deck to you. Now, if 5 of their members didn't, maybe their deck's going to be different. So that's where having an active team is going to be super important. And I hope that there's a way to track that. I hope there's a way to see how many bottle caps each person is getting, because if you look at somebody and they're underperforming, there's sorry dude, like find a less competitive team because we're about this shit.
Yep,
you're clearly not.
That will cause a lot of problems. That will cause a lot of problems on teams that don't have full dedicated teams. You know, you'll have the stragglers who sit there and just like donation farm and who, you know, don't actually contribute. So hopefully that is dealt with for this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens to some of those people, because I think there are a lot of casual people that play this game and are on decent teams that probably don't care all that much about team versus team. Like, they're not against it, right? But they're not like hyped for it. They're like, yeah, cool. Like, I got to be on a team. Like, go Nambla, go Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
I do wonder what will happen to some of those folks as these things get shifted around and they feel like, well, like, now I can't get my events. I can't progress in the way I wanted to. Like, I don't know. I think they have to be cautious with that type of stuff, because you could be losing players potentially if people feel like they're getting displaced or not on the team they want, or their team is getting pissed at them. And now it's like a thing, right? Before you were straggling, but who cared? Your team got the event done because you had Glanzer and SDNW who were throwing up all these event points and you were still getting shit done, right? But now, like, now you got to play. Now you got to be a contributor. Like, I wonder, you know, what'll happen.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be, because I think that's kind of, I bet everybody's team that's on here, they could say like their bottom 10 wouldn't be, if they really, really strictly followed their little rules or whatever, the bottom 10 shouldn't be in the team. And so and that's probably because maybe 2 months ago they were grinding like the rest of them, and then they just can't anymore, whether it's real life stuff or whether it's like the diminishing returns of, you know, once you get to level 4 epics, the next step is fucking just as long as it took you to get there. And same with legendaries. Once you get to level 3,
it's even longer, man. It's even longer.
Yeah, from 3 to 4 is the same. Is I think it's one more card than it took to get to level 3, because you need 16, and or no 8. So you need 8 at that level, and you only needed fucking 5 or whatever, 6 or whatever to get to that level in the first place. So it's like, it's ridiculous, man. It's literally doubled. It's like Pokemon Go, man. From level 20, from 1 to 25,
fallacy.
From 1 to 25, it was the same to get from 25 to 26.
That's like, you're talking about the model of pay to win. It's diminishing returns.
It's exactly
it's very intentional. It's not like, oh man, like I wonder why it's such a big gap. Like, that's the point.
Sunken cost fallacy, man. Once you've contributed enough money to get to that point, suddenly you're like, oh shit, now it's this far away. I'll never reach that point unless I spend money. Well, I've already spent money to get to this point, so I might as well spend money to get to that point.
Can you guys remember the first 2 hours of this game that you played? You're like, wow, my deck got so much better in 2 hours. I like quadrupled my cards, and look at all these things that are like doubling in level.
Dude, you should have saw how powerful it got after I dropped $200 on it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it was like day one, I was like $200, king of the world.
Oh, $200 and I'm set. I'll never have to put another $1.
That's exactly how I felt. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why these games exist, right? And I mean, I could rant for days. I'm not going to waste everyone's time by ranting about it, but that's the model, right? And that's the way it's supposed to work.
Yep. And I mean,
exactly.
Devil's advocate, you could also say that since it takes so long, aside from the top 5 10, 20 people who are going to pay everything and buy everything. Once you get to that point where it's going to take months and months and months and months to get to the next step, that's where kind of the meta levels happen, and that's where the real skill battles happen. When everybody has level 4 epics, level 3 legends, and that, like, now people are starting to get to level 4 legends, which kind of fucks shit. But when it was just level 4 epics and level 3 legends, it was everybody was going toe to toe, man. It was a lot of fun to play those games.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I
was
didn't have
past
to
tense.
It was a lot more fun, and everyone's got 4 legends and 5 epics. That's a different story. Like, those are a little more annoying to deal with. I don't know. Honestly, I think it's like an arms race with that type of stuff, right? You know, like, you're playing at your team.
Arms race is a really good way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you're doing good, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Jim Bob wailed out on that damn Santa, and, like, guess what I got to do now? Because he's got Santa and I don't. Like, I better wail out on that Santa. And that's the other way it works. Besides the sunken cost fallacy, besides diminishing returns, is, you know, you like the rank you're at, and you think of yourself as, I'm a 150 player. That's where I am. That's my rank. Like, I don't want to drop. I don't want everyone else to wail up. All of a sudden I'm 250 or 300.
I know I certainly feel like shit having a level 3 Santa when all these fucking motherfuckers have level 4 Santas.
Those motherfuckers with their level 4 Santas.
Goddamn, man.
Those
dude,
bastards.
you get it double, man. SD, you're on a team where you get to watch everyone wail those packs up, and you're like, oh,
I know.
Like, you're all getting them. Like,
there are quite a few people on the team where motherfuckers.
Hey, man.
It's a little too whale for me.
Hey, SDNW, the GoFundMe option is still available.
Oh yeah, dude. How's your car? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll leave it alone. I'll go off that.
No, go into it. Go into it. Let me hear this. What is this GoFundMe option? Tell me about it. So
this SDNW Green Dream Fund. That's the goal. I think about 20,000 could do it. No, maybe not. The problem is that even if you start whaling and you buy every pack now, there's somebody who has done it.
Behind.
There's someone who's done it for a year already.
Dude, yeah. If I spent like $10,000 right now, I would still be behind everybody else.
Unless you could unless you could get them to take away the restrictions for you, where you could buy 30 of the packs when they can only buy 10 of them.
Exactly. I could spend on every single event, and there's no way that I would catch up. There's no way.
Or I mean, you could put 200,000 in, and you could just buy the epic ones from the shop that are always there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
With the 2% legendary chance, and you could do it, man.
You know, honestly, that's the idea that concerns me the most. Is team versus team is so obviously a feature for the existing player base, and has nothing to do with player acquisition or anyone that's new.
This is true. This
like,
is very true. Absolutely.
Watch this Procast, right? It's not for the random person on the team of 40 people. Like, it's for us, right? Yep. And the part that concerns me the most about it is players that are on teams that are comfortable with the amount of time they play or the amount that they spend, that are going to feel now a lot of social pressure to suddenly, like, jack that way up, right? They're going to say, I am letting my team down because we want to play a level 3 SOM, and I've got 3/4 of my team with the SOM, and I don't have one, right?
Yep.
I could wail out, like, what do you know? There happens to be on the week that SOM's offered, wow, there's like this 20 pack offer, but I can totally get a SOM now. Like, I mean, I feel like there's a decent chance that people are going to be put in those positions, and I hate that stuff, man. Like, there's nothing wrong with whaling if you want to whale, but like whaling when you're not wanting to whale, that sucks.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. This is definitely a chance for them to force players into spending some extra money.
Yeah.
At the same time, how many teams do you think are going to actually be trying their asses off to be competitive in TBT? That's
30.
Another question. Yeah, I don't think there's very
like
many.
Actually competitive? No way. Like, you mean like competitive is in like win it, or competitive do you mean like take it seriously? There's a difference.
Like be number one.
Be number one. It's going to be Dire Tide, Illuminati, free to play whales, right?
Yeah.
Nambla.
Tell
Hello.
me a team besides. Oh, don't start with your like. And the other people on Nambla will be.
And the other people on him. Like, come on now.
I'm not trying to go there. Like,
Yeah,
there are three
but
teams
honestly, even outside of that, how many people are really going to be competing to even be like the best in Wood Shield? You know, like in Wood Shield.
I mean, there will be a lot that don't care, which is
Yeah.
the beauty of it in theory, because Wood Shield will be the teams that don't care, and they like, you know, they
That'd be the most
literally have
fun.
their leader as the only person voting on one card, and they're like, they're outlaw because that's what the leader wanted, like, and that's okay.
Sure.
But I think
Yeah.
teams that take it seriously, realistically, yeah, maybe 50, probably less than 50 that take it seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that. And that's interesting because the way they have it set it up does lend itself to like the casual play, casual like semi-casual, where you're still playing every day, but you're not getting locker limit every day. You know, you're getting your PvP packs every 4 hours. You know, you're getting one before work, you're getting one on lunch, you're getting one after work. You know, you're getting one before bed. Like those people are what I consider casual. Then you have like the super casual who like pick it up once a week, and those people are there's a lot of those fucking people. You can tell them when you play them, man. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well,
They
have
don't
nothing
know what the
to
fuck they're doing.
They're not part of TVT.
Right. They don't. So they're gonna play the deck that the rest of their team votes on. They're not gonna communicate about it. Their communication will be their votes. Like, oh, this is 40, or this has 20, and this has 21. Then I'd rather play this one. So I'm gonna vote for this one. It's kind of stuff.
They
like
might
that.
not even play their 16 versus team games, dude. They
Yeah,
might play two
maybe
of them.
not.
Like, those
Maybe
people
not.
don't really.
I mean, how many people don't play their free challenge mode? Do you think?
Enough, yeah. There
I
are
don't-
enough.
I
Let me tell
don't-
you, as someone
I
who
don't
plays a
always
lot
play
of
free
challenge
challenge.
mode, there are every now and then when I'll play like that late Thursday run, because God knows why, right? Kids up, I'm like, hey, why don't I do a challenge run at this time? Like there will be people where I'm like, wow, like you have no idea what
Yeah.
this challenge is.
Yeah,
dude.
for
It's
sure.
Yeah.
funky
And
stuff,
like when you can tell the deck has nothing to do with like the gimmick, where it's like, oh, Death Wish people are stronger, and he doesn't have a single Death Wish card in his deck. It's like, come on.
yeah,
Come
that's a lot
on.
of people. I mean, it's a mobile game. You're gonna get a lot of that, right? Like
Yeah.
this is StarCraft 2 in Korea. Like we're not like sitting here grinding, right?
Why isn't it StarCraft 2 in Korea? Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, when is this going to be an esport, though? I feel like
Right?
at any moment this is going to break that
January.
barrier, and we're going to start seeing the big tournaments, right? It's
Dude,
gonna happen.
I've been screaming for that since day one. Since day one, I've been like, look, do it this, and this way, and we will be able to make this an esport. And now I've got fucking Brawl Stars on my phone, which
Yeah.
already has a fucking Red Bull fucking tournament.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fuck?
I mean, the problem is, dude, that ship sailed a long time ago.
It
Like,
did.
that's
Yeah,
not
they killed it a long time ago.
Yeah, we're enjoying the game for what it is, and that's okay because I do enjoy it. I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
playing it.
yeah,
until I believe it.
absolutely. But yeah, that the esport, the esport.
Let's not even pretend that's gonna happen.
Yep,
That's
yep.
that's way gone.
I mean, maybe when to go server side, some of the bugs get figured out. Maybe they'll start looking into that. But then at that
Server-
point, it's still just tournament.
Like,
Maybe
you
they'll
don't
start
need
looking into
Riverside
that.
talk here. I don't need that in my life right
tournament
now.
mode.
You know what? TVT Team Wars is them trying to figure out, like, the gears are spinning in their head. They're like, how are we gonna get this into an esport right now?
Yeah, right.
PDT,
Right.
that's how we do it.
Yeah, what's our pro scene for this? What's our pro?
We got to get some sponsors.
This is it. I'm getting my sponsors.
these
Dude, can you
votes
imagine,
brought to
like-
you by Red Links.
Imagine the
Dude.
national confusion, right? Like next season of South Park, it cuts out to a game of Phone Destroyer. You've got millions of people like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Dude,
I
yeah.
have no idea what's going on.
Like, oh, check out the leaderboard on ESPN tonight.
Oh.
Right
Oh, man.
after Scrabble at
This podcast
2
brought to you
a.m.
by SDNW, sponsored by Bang Energy Drinks and Chubby Bubble Vapes.
Yeah, right. There would have to be a vape sponsor. That is definitely.
No, dude, you know what they would?
Dude,
You know what it would
I'm
end up
gonna
being?
corner that market. I'm
You
gonna
know what it would
corner
be?
that.
It'd be sports
That's
teams,
mine.
dude.
That's mine. If any vape company is sponsored,
It'd be sports
It's
teams,
me.
man. You'd see the Golden State Cartmans, or the Houston Butters or something.
Houston
The
Butter.
Washington Redskins.
We almost saw Washington Redskins.
That's great.
That was almost the name we ended on.
The Washington Redskins. That'd be pretty good.
Wasn't that one too long or something?
It was already taken.
It's already taken. Oh
Yeah,
man. Dude,
They already took
you know
it.
what sucks too? It's already taken by some team of like 12 people that don't play the game anymore. And you're like, come on, like you guys
Yeah.
really
Mhm.
like
Can we kick them out?
Well,
Can we
it's
get
a
rid
lot
of
of our NAMBLA teams. A lot of our NAMBLA teams, the like fake NAMBLA teams, went ahead and just like steal right now. So
Yeah,
you have like Nambinos running around and shit.
Yeah.
It's like that's no way
Nambla with an
affiliated.
exclamation point?
Yeah,
I take real joy in beating those motherfuckers, you fake
Yep.
Nambla pricks.
There's a lot of people out there. The thing is, NAMBLA has like a connection to the show, so I could see a lot of
Mhm.
people making
Yeah.
NAMBLA names. Illuminati doesn't, and like I like.
I don't know. Illuminati has connection to real world things though, so that's like an automatic.
guys.
Like, everyone. can
Guys,
jump
we're gonna
on
name
that-
our team
that train.
Anonymous and it'll be so original.
Anonymous. And we're only gonna wear masks.
Dude, look up like Illum or Illuminati. You'll see like 50 teams.
I
There's
bet.
so many people with that name. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I don't get it.
Yep.
Sorry,
Well,
somebody
to be
just
real,
screamed
man.
in
I
my
was
apartment.
in a shadow government that was like Nambluminati, so
Illuminati, nice.
yeah. Yep. Back in the day, in the darker times of the Nambla.
Dude, Simba's drinking some fucking crazy drink right now. I don't know how
Yeah,
he's even
this
standing
is
up.
I
I
need
don't
to
know
go
if
in
you guys ever had Dogfish Head, the IPA.
Yep.
This is their sessionable sour ale. It's pretty good.
Nice.
It's like a lime, black lime.
I don't know how
system.
you fucking drink with the tab knocked off of it though.
Oh,
Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
it's like,
Terrible. How
in
do
my-
you not-
like I constantly like rip tabs off of beers. I don't know why I do it. I just do.
And I have.
So SDNW is drinking Carbon Brewing Fantasy Factory here.
Well, my mountains are
Yeah,
still
that has
blue.
something-
Fuck you.
I love it. Glanzer's, yeah. We know where Glanzer's beer fund goes, right? That goes straight.
I
to
know. You
Sam.
know what I'm really drinking right now? This is what I'm really drinking right now. Daytime cold and flu relief. That's
So
what's
get
getting me tipsy.
All that DX7 in there, baby.
Fuck yeah, dude. Actually, this doesn't
Dexter
have it because that's the
Mathor
shit that
fan.
makes
It'll
you
fuck
drowsy.
you up.
Got Glanzer robo tripping over here, right?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
No, I'm not drinking scissor, guys. Come on. All right,
Dexter
let's get
Mathor.
back to the question at hand. The battles. Pretty much the only thing
The
we haven't
battles.
talked about the team wars. And I think with the battles, the biggest thing is going to be just the rainbow, having that kind of combination power. What do you guys think is going to be the craziest shit that we're going to see in, you know, when we got some people who should not be hyperdrived getting hyperdrive, when we got
Yeah.
somebody getting a ninja buff and then getting hyperdrive, and then you lightning bolt the motherfucker that's blocking the way.
I think one of my biggest. Oh, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I think one of
No,
my biggest.
I'll go ahead.
concerns- One of my biggest concerns, like spell wise, like that, is someone being able to sit there and like fireball poison and then have like regen and hail in the background. They just sit there like, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? We're gonna kill everything you play, and we're just gonna heal everything that we want.
That's
Yeah,
actually
so-
interesting about the card choices. How many spells are we going to get per week?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, in their example, I think it's 2. I saw regen and poison. I didn't see anything else.
Oh,
but
they have power bind
Mhm.
too, so they have 3.
power bind. Yeah. Well, as we already talked about, that deck sucks. So like, I don't really worry about that deck.
Hey, Powerbind is the best card in the game. So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's nothing
fuck
wrong-
you guys. Power binding my Santa, you assholes.
Power bind.
dude, yeah, you've never felt salt like you felt like being SDNW and having your Santa Powerbind right next to your Psalm.
Oh, that is brutal.
Whoa, what the fuck are you doing? You.
Fun fact about that though, guys. So if let's say you drop Santa and then you drop Marcus, and Marcus gets power binded. If you use the Santa ability on the Marcus, when
It
the
doesn't
power
work.
bind wears off, it won't be maxed.
So what happens is Santa fully charges the card, but the power bind is active. So until power bind is gone, that Marcus can't do anything.
No, but even when the power bind's gone, he doesn't have it fully charged.
Oh, really?
Yep, it just doesn't count. It just doesn't
Yep.
count if you're
The
power
same with
bound
Enforcer.
or
Okay,
Enforcer,
so
yeah.
we tried playtesting it, and I thought I saw it the other way, but I could be wrong.
The
Yeah,
same with Enforcer, because we had that on stream the other night where we were waiting to kill the Enforcer just to see if he would be maxed or not, and he wasn't. He was still like halfway charged.
Fascinating. Okay, so it just ignores his ability.
I mean, it could be different with Powerbind, but I imagine it would work the same as Enforcer because
when have you ever
the
seen
same mechanic, right?
There's no possible way it's different between the two effects.
Right.
There's no possible way.
Right, I agree, because they're the exact same effect.
It's the exact
The
same.
only thing that really sucks about Enforcer is that if you somehow walk out of Enforcer's range after you've been like touched by Enforcer's
Still counts.
aura,
you guys
just locks you. You're just locked.
Here's a tip to beat Simba, by the way. It's a great tip to beat me because I abuse the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I run PCP with Enforcer for a very specific reason. It's to power bind you and then to shove you out of the way so you are permanently power bound. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the thing. It's a part of the game. And at this point, it's like it's as much of a meme as like the DKC bug where I'm like,
yeah, it really is.
I think it's a feature. I don't think they intend for it to work differently. So I'm just gonna leave it. Like they clearly want this to happen. I'm just gonna keep doing it. Yeah.
Procast sci-fi faggotry. Goddamn sci-fi motherfuckers.
SDNW, remember when I put you in the sci-fi banner? Remember how mad you were?
Dude, fuck that shit. Am I green? I didn't even look.
Yeah, you're green.
Good.
I got
green.
you locked on the
Jesus.
green one now. I figured out how to move everybody around. Before I was just expanding the Discord up and setting everybody up perfectly. But then Discord changed from doing like 4 in the corners to doing all 4 in a line. And it just made the picture smaller, and I was like, "Well, this isn't gonna fucking work." So I have to duplicate the display 4 times or 3 times if there's 3 people, and then transform it and like basically crop to you guys. But I figured it out. It's pretty simple. It only takes like 5 minutes now.
That's much fancier than I can do. I stream from my phone with Omelet Arcade using my laptop speakers for music. So look out, buddy.
Hey man, whatever gets the bitches.
I'm glad you got everything worked out though, man.
Yeah,
I still haven't been able to catch one of your streams, but I look forward to it.
It'll happen at some point. It'll happen.
happen.
Yeah. So it's like as far as like the battles and all that type of stuff, I love the idea of Rainbow because it's never been available to us in any other format. But the first chance to play deck with all these other odd card combinations, I really like that. Like you get to have potentially like a more like red-orange heavy deck that also has direct removal. That's really cool, right? Like there's a lot of cool ideas of things you can do that are not in the game already.
Wow, that sounds cancer.
Right? Yeah. Imagine the red orange Doc Fiesta decks that incorporate good hard removal, right?
Oh god.
No fun. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be good gameplay as far as how those games play out because they're not things that you can practice all that much. So it does test player skill to see like your depth of knowledge of cards and do you really know how it functions? And like it tests core mechanics pretty well. Like, you know, there will be weeks where you're playing cards you don't want to play and they just have to be in your deck and you have to know how to use them and get the most out of them. The downside to it for me is it's so few games. You don't necessarily get to see that, right?
And there's no chance to practice unless they change friendly fights to be like go in with my team fight deck.
Oh man, wouldn't that be great?
Which would be sick.
Sorry to segue, but can they please just give us like sandbox friendly features,
like full private mode, like private matches?
It makes you wonder why not. Like, what are they really worried about? If they're worried about bots, dude, the bots already exist. They're all over the place. Yeah. I don't know if you guys played Challenge this last week, but I played. I think I counted over 10 bots. Like, and you can tell because
in challenge mode.
In challenge mode, it's SPPD _ a bunch of numbers. I'm like, that's not a person, that's a bot. And they're all over the place. Like the point is like sandbox features, like who really cares, right? Like just let people mess around with the game. You have a group of people that you've already effectively addicted. You got people that are spending all this money. Like let them have fun, man. Like why do you need to like lock that stuff out? It just seems dumb.
Yeah, and Oni brings up a good point. You know, whether or not team versus team is fantastic or whether it's dog shit, the game is still being developed. You know, it's been a year and it's still going. I've played other games where, you know, I drop a couple $100 in because I think it's awesome. I'm having a good time. And then a year later, no more updates. And then it's just like play to max everything. And so it's really refreshing to know. And that's because, honestly, that game had a really terrible pay-to-play model. Nobody was paying anything on it because you didn't really need to. You could just grind your fucking dick off. And this as much as we hate it, this has an incredibly lucrative pay to win model, and that's going to keep the game going for quite some time until David gets all 7 cards until he gets all 7 level 7 cards, and he no longer
He's very close.
he no longer has anything to spend on. But then maybe they'll have something else.
7 cards, and then when he starts losing, that's gonna be a different story. But yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so that so I'm happy for that, at least that it's still being developed, and a big, like, not just like extra events and shit, but like, and not just extra cards, like a big fucking change. Like, this is a big addition, regardless if you like it or not. It's big, huge. So let's give him props for that for sure. Oni's on top of it with that. Yeah, and the alien drone was fucking terrible. Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, what the fuck was that card, man? What does that have to do with shit? What the fuck is an alien drone?
It's an Amazon drone, man.
I've never seen an alien drone one time in any of my South Park history. Like, not a single episode, not a single video game. It has never been a part of the fucking South Park canon.
It wasn't in the episode, was it? I watched the episode. It wasn't in it, right?
There is no alien drone in the entire.
There's the Amazon drone. An Amazon drone drops something off, but.
Yeah.
The best part too isn't like the randomness of the card. It's that they just recycled the Roomba that you get from Sixth Element, and they're like, "That's its drop. It gets the thing that Sixth Element does." Like, why does the drone have this Roomba? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
The alien drone should have dropped 2 fucking visitors behind it, man.
Oh, dude,
see, that would have been good.
That would have made
all day long. 2 visitors. Fuck with me.
Maybe not 2. Maybe not 2. Seeing as how the visitor card is ready to. But even just
3. You're right. 3.
Yeah, 3 visitors. Fuck it.
It's so overpowered. Don't make visitors meta, dude. Visitors is way too good.
Too good.
Dude, okay, so about back to the triple theme. I would love to see a cock deck with BHK fucking them up. Boom, regen on those bitches.
Dude, I want to see.
That's fucking shit. That's the shit.
Yeah. I feel like there could be some interesting like double Kyle plays and stuff like that, which you can already kind of do, but like you can get some interesting plays going on when you have that many rainbow themes together. Like,
yeah, the possibilities are endless.
Dude, the possibilities are endless. Sack the Ninja and then get like a Kyle of the Drow Elves, right? Like, you can get some crazy shit going on. I could see some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a bug, I think, that it doesn't get hit by the Ninja, the drone. That's a bug that I think they're gonna fix. So, because BHK can buff them, but Ninja can't.
I'm gonna be upset when they fix that. In all honesty. I'm gonna be pissed when they fix that because Sixth Element Randy is such an OP card. Like, it is.
You can't heal him.
OP.
I mean, he's OP at 4. He's not
level 4 up. Level 4 up. Sixth Element Randy is OP as fuck.
Like Oni's level 5 6 element?
Yeah, exactly. Level 5 6 element Randy, dude, one-shotting fucking Mystic Assassins at level 5. Like, come on now. Please, just like back the fuck off already. And he attacks faster than they attack.
Is it that he attacks faster or that his leg kicks halfway across the screen? Like, it's one
I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. No, his attack is 0.1 seconds faster, which means he out-trades every one of the assassins.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. It is absolutely insane how strong that card is.
Yeah, man, he's quick.
Yeah.
I tried making
and then if the Roombas can do fucking ninja, like, Lord help us all, because they already have enough health that they can stay on the field forever. So Jesus.
It's the truth.
Please no. Just let it be BHK and be the only cancer that they can fucking handle. Like, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Getting flashbacks up in here, man. Shit.
Flashbacks from Roomba. It's nice.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be a big change. And I think we're all excited for it in some way, shape, or form.
There's a lot of hope. I agree.
Hope. What a great word for it. Hope. We all hope
a lot of fingers
it's
crossed.
good, man. We all hope it's good. If it's terrible, they might have a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
to retain some people.
I think it's going to be a significant hit to the core player base if, like, let's say week 1, everyone's patient, if week 2 it's like, oh look, like this feels pretty pay to win, like this feels, like in that bracket, I think people are going to pretty quickly not be happy about the game. So
Yeah.
I would assume that Red Lynx, given how good they are with their monetization, they got to be smart enough to know, like, you don't release a feature like this and totally screw your player base, right? Yeah. Maybe they're not smart enough, but who knows? Like, I think they are. So, I don't know. I think that this game kind of is like the deciding factor. Is the existing player base going to stick with this for another year plus? Yep. Or is it going to kill it? Because it could.
I like to think that they're smart enough just because they're still getting money out of SDNW. I don't want to have one pulled over. But
yeah, you don't want to feel like you're being duped by a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah, well, that's less them specifically than the pay model, which is really effective. Which is why
it is a really effective pay model.
I watched enough videos of like those like 10-year-olds opening FIFA packs and like ruining their family's finances. Like, this stuff works, dude.
Yeah, dude. It works, man. My brother was playing fucking Madden the other day, and I had no idea about like the packs and shit like that. The My Team shit that they were doing. No idea. Never even heard about it. And they started.
Madden is fucking pay to win, man.
Yeah, dude. They started. My brother started explaining it to me, and I was like, "Oh my fucking god! This sounds like a blast. You're getting packs, you're getting your guys up, and then those are the guys that you use on the field. And I can have the Seahawks star quarterback throw into the Viking star. I can throw to Randy Moss basically. Like, what the fuck? That's awesome." And I was just like, dude, this is incredible. Like, all of these fucking guys who think they're not nerds because they're playing Madden are way bigger nerds. Way bigger nerds than all of us.
I've been saying that about sports my entire fucking life, man.
Yeah,
anyone who's into sports might as well be a fucking geek. They only like fucking dudes.
Dude, you know that he's batting 300? He's batting 300, dude. That's 25% better than everybody else.
Oh yeah,
you're a fucking fag, man.
I play fantasy football. Fantasy baseball is like next level nerd with some of that stuff. Where they're like, I don't know,
man. Baby. Moneyball.
Let me show you his like advanced stats metrics for the last 4 weeks. Like, this guy's OBS has changed a lot with lefties. He's got 3 lefties coming up this week. Like, dude. You're not talking about sports anymore. This is different. You've gone into a different realm.
Your theory crafting now. That's officially fucking geek realm, dude.
Yeah. You're no better. One of us. Yeah, totally.
One of us. Google gobble. Yeah,
all right,
man.
boys.
I think okay. So we have.
There's not enough spandex in South Park for this story. I got to put that out there. If they really want to keep this legit, we need to get some dudes in spandex.
Totally, dude. Totally.
And some low cut shirts for the female new kids around. Oh wait, they're kids. Never mind.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
All right, so we got quite a few questions to go through at the end. A lot of those will be about Team Wars. We're gonna jump now, and we're gonna talk a little bit. Jesus, my girlfriend's yelling at the cat. We're gonna talk a little bit about the newest card, which I know me and SDNW have, Santa. By the way, if you want to get one of these beautiful fat bastards yourself, exclamation point ho 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 in chat. Ho ho ho.
Let me get another one of those in there just to be safe.
Currently, there are 49 people watching. There's 49 people watching, and there's only 29 people in the giveaway, so make sure you ho 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 all the way into the giveaway.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
We'll be giving that away at the end of the stream. And, yeah, I mean, just one copy. Sorry, I can't give you like a little 4.
What a bitch.
But let's talk about him. I personally have been using him. I personally have been using him in the chip deck, where I made a Mystic chip deck once I got Ink into level 3, and it's been working pretty well. But I basically, the only 3 cards that he works with in my deck is Witch Doctor Token, Stand of Mini Moons, who I only put in because of him. I didn't have him in before, and Marcus. Who the real key is the Marcus. Obviously, you drop Marcus, you get 3 fucking pillows before you get to Crosshair's core.
Let me stop right there. Did you see the real key is the Marcus?
I know.
Right before that.
What bullshit, right? Yeah. So
like he's a double Psalm. Like, why would you even bring up Marcus? I know you love your Marcus, but come on,
dude. Because Psalm can only do so much, man.
Psalm can only do so much.
When you're a level 3, hear me out. When you're a level 3 Psalm, and you got a level 4 sexy nun coming at you, or not sexy nun, 6 element. 2 Psalms doesn't even fucking tickle him, man. He's still half health.
Yeah,
He's still ready to go.
the thing is that double Psalm threat is so much of an intimidation factor that the enemy is either just gonna not play shit or fucking quit, because they know that anything they play will be wasted energy. You know, you can play whatever the fuck you want when you have that shit on the field. If they play anything,
You
remove it.
can still
Who
lightning
cares?
bolt them. You can still lightning bolt them.
Are you crazy?
My
Like,
sexy, my dude, my fucking. Let me tell you, dude. Psalm at level 3 is not very good when you're in the top.
Yeah, man, why are you playing Psalm at
Not
level
very
3?
good because
What
I
a
don't have
nerd,
level
dude.
4 yet.
Hey, you know
That's
what?
why.
What a nerd. Why didn't you wail out on
I
those?
play
Because
Psalm
I have
level
1 of 8, man. I'm not gonna do
You
it.
have fucking 12 days of Christmas offer. Why aren't you at level 4?
Because it would have got me to 7 of 8, and I would have been so mad.
I don't know, or because he doesn't want to whale to win. I don't know.
Yeah, no, dude.
I feel like, you know, like, dude, you don't need to try to justify that Marcus is better than Psalm. You can just say
Oh,
it's
God.
good with Marcus, and it makes
He's way
Marcus
better,
good.
dude. When you got level,
Yeah.
when you got level 5 Marcus, triple Marcus. One of my Marcuses got 6 fucking pillows off the other day. That was fucking awesome. Actually, that was earlier
Dude,
today.
I would have just melted you with fucking double Psalm. like peace.
Well,
out,
that's
bro.
why I got the lightning bolt for that shit, man, and the unholy
Okay,
combustion.
okay,
I got
okay.
protections, man, or I just kill your
That's why,
Santa.
that's why I've got YPC and Pope.
Okay, that's true.
What do you want to do?
Well, that's
bro?
gonna fuck up any deck, though, man. Like that doesn't matter what I'm doing. That's gonna destroy any deck.
So yeah, the way I play Santa is pure intimidation factor. They already know that I've got some shit in my hand that's about to come out and fucking one-shot them. So they just see level 4 right now of Santa, just like, hey man, I've got full charge, and they can either unholy combust him if I don't have YPC out, or they can sit there and be like, well, I could play something and pray to God he doesn't have that level 4 Stand of Many Moons in his hand, which will one-shot whatever I play unless it's a level 4 legendary. So it's a total intimidation factor. YPC Psalm in the first place is an intimidation factor move. Like, by having YPC and Psalm on the field, the enemy is forced into a position where they're unable to play cards. If they play cards, it's wasted energy. They can just sit there at 10 energy,
which is also wasted energy.
Until you get all the way over there and then just drop everything and hope they can fucking take you out in time. But if he's fully charged, what are you really going to do? So it's an entirely intimidation factor, and Santa plays right into that by giving you double the intimidation.
Yeah.
So it's like having 2 Psalms in your deck.
The biggest problem with Psalm to me was always that, like, Enforcer counters him to an extent, but to stop the first Psalm blast with an Enforcer, you have to play Enforcer at the midline pretty fucking early, and he ends up on the other side, and he just gets blown up by a fucking assassin or something, and then Psalm's ready to go is immediately when Enforcer dies. So having the Santa there where you can lead with the Psalm, and don't get me wrong, I'm dropping Psalm and Marcus at the same time when I'm doing Santa and getting them both. It's fucking awesome, but it's just like, God, it's so punishing to have that extra charge, and not to mention his charge is way faster than anyone else's charge. So you're getting it, like, and for Marcus, it's like 1 or 2 seconds you have to wait. So what I do is I drop Santa. If he doesn't get removed, you drop Marcus, do an immediate Marcus, and then Marcus will get his pillow about, almost half court. Then Santa already has his charge, but you wait for the Marcus, you do another Marcus, you hit Santa, then you do another Marcus, and he has 3 pillows before he even gets in within mind control range. But when you use it with Stand of Many Moons, when you do it with Stand of Many Moons, you can just do the Santa immediately because it's still like halfway through Stand of Many Moons blast. Like, it's still halfway through the charge. So it's worth it to do it immediately and get that charge immediately, because it's still an extra 5-6 seconds.
3 level 5 Marcus pillows doesn't even take a bar.
Dude, it's the chip deck, man. Have you ever fucking seen me? It's all about winning. It's all about winning right before overtime, man. It's about dropping that level 6 lightning bolt right when overtime starts, man. When he'll have 10 energy on my side. He'll have 10 energy on my side. If the game went 5 seconds longer, I'm gonna lose. But I lightning bolt his ass and I win. That's what it's all about, man.
Okay,
it gets people going.
of the people that are respectful to him, I've given Glanzer about as much shit as anyone I can think of, and I have to respect his deck. I really like it, dude. I love that you run like Santa
Level 3 Inkin, come on.
With Inkin, like it's hilarious. Like it might not be like the most fun thing in the world to play against, but it is hilarious. Like you're basically saying, like, you know what? I'm gonna play Chip, and I'm just gonna find a way to make Chip work now. And I'm not using Dougies.
Dude, for
I'm just
so long.
Other shenanigans, and I'm gonna ruin your.
I'm really surprised he doesn't run Dougies at this point.
Dude, I don't have. I don't have
deck,
any that I can play. All my Dougies are still level 1.
Oh, dude, I got an easy solution to that.
I mean, I could play him at level 5, but I called Dougies. I called Dougies no talent pussy so much on stream that at this point, no one would forgive me.
Yeah, I get pretty fucking salty when I lose to fucking Dougie shit.
That fucking guy.
That's I will not say good game to someone that Dougies me.
Yeah, I fart on every Dougie I win. If I beat someone with a Dougie,
dude, you know
I fart.
I do think that the new Dougies are way too hard to deal with. There's like, especially level 6, they're way too hard to deal with. They're just almost always energy efficient for what they do. But don't disregard people that played Dougies before they were buffed, like New Venom.
Yeah.
Like New Venom is a great example of a guy who has very innovative.
Yeah, he's the only one that I'll say good game to because he forever and has been working with forever and has cultivated this play style. People who just run double Dougie into level 4 Satan. I'm not talking about you, Black. Fuck you. But not him, but those people.
Like that level 18 I played earlier with double Dougies.
Burn in hell.
Ugh. Double Dougie, level 4 Santa. Level 18 new kid.
Double Dougie, level 4
Level
Satan.
18 new kid, guys. With that, it's fucking annoying. But what can you do? But yeah, Santa is one of the cooler cards. I think that ability is just fucking neat. I think it charges a little bit too fast. I think they might change it to.
It charges so fast. Dude.
I think they might change it.
Santa Many Moons charges. You can just play them at the same time.
What units do we know that charge faster than Santa? Like for sure, CKI, right? Mm-hmm. For sure, Canadian Knight charges faster.
Smuggler Ike, I guess.
I think charges faster. Is there any other unit besides those two?
I think Amazingly Randy's might.
Maybe.
It might be real close. Real close.
Maybe the Randys. But yeah, it's an incredibly fast charge.
It's like 8 seconds. So whatever the numbers are for the other ones.
Yeah.
Because I know Marcus is like 12 or 14, and then Sam is what, like 15, 16 or something like that?
Yeah.
But it's more about like where they are when they get.
Sam's is super slow. It's a super slow charge.
Yeah, Sam's might be the slowest in the game, actually.
I think so. I think it's the slowest one.
I can't think of what would be slower. But what about Kyle? What about Gunslinger and shit? Because I tried to do a double. I tried to do a double Gunslinger Kyle, but it doesn't stack. It sloughs off the other one, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because when you do the Santa after the first one, the 125 or whatever it is, like starts rolling up and disappears, and then the other 125 goes above it. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think you can do the combo fast enough to get it off.
That's possible because it is only 3 seconds.
Yeah. One of the things with Santa, when you cast an ability, say you're using like Sexy on Randy, and you go to do your choir boy, and he does this little thing like that where he throws his arms up and sticks his sexy leg out there. While that's happening, if you hit Santa, you will not take the buff from Santa. It needs to wait until that whole animation of the is
that kind of
over.
Depends on how far away Santa is, though, because the travel time from the gifts does count.
I'm saying if if the present hits Sexy Nun Randy or whatever card it is, while they are mid animation for their cast of their animation that you're using, they will just ignore the buff. It has to be the animation has to end before they can get
And the beauty of that though is that if it's a charged person, he will get a gift sent at him. So if you have somebody in the back, and let's say I think I've done this with Marcus before where I didn't have Marcus in my hand yet, and I led with like Santa into Stand of Many Moons or something, and Santa's like midfield, and I drop Marcus, and he's like further away. I can drop it, and immediately when I hit the Marcus pillow, I can hit Santa, and by the time the gift hits him, Marcus is ready to go again, and like almost an immediate 2 pillows.
There's a lot of timing involved in getting
Yeah,
that to work
like
right.
what you're talking about using Glanzer is like the way that I like him being used, like creating like innovative plays with combos that you don't normally see. But the way that we're going to see the most of him
Oh yeah.
is with Youth Pastor, Psalm, Pope, right? Like it's
Yeah,
going to be
man, why
the
wouldn't
worst
you?
version of Cancer Psalm. Like it's the exact same thing, except now you've got an Awesome-O to deal with that gives you double Psalm charges.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I
I've
hate
seen.
that.
I was using him as turning Witch Doctor into Rogue, pretty much, where you
I
drop
don't
Witch
like him. I
Doctor.
don't like him with Witch Doctor.
You
Yeah, do it.
immediately.
I don't like
It's
him
not
with Witch
good by
Doctor.
himself, but if you have somebody else, like if I have Marcus or something, who will also get the charge, you drop Witch Doctor at the midline, and he immediately has his charge. That's pretty fucking scary to have a Witch Doctor charged at the middle coming at you.
I really like him into Sexy and Randy into Ninju as a tank buster. So say they have that Grand Wizard Cartman out there, and you've got Santa and Sexy Nun Randy walking up, and you go and you pop off the Sexy Nun Randy ability, get the one choir boy, hit Santa, get the second choir boy as you're throwing Ninju down, and you've got all of that with Ninju buff going. That'll burn the fuck out of a tank like in a second.
Oh yeah, dude. Those
So-
choir boys hitting for like I don't even know what that is. Like
They're hitting for 300.
something
They're
like
hitting
that.
for 320 plus. 320 plus.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, at level 5 with level 4 Ninju. So it's
Mhm.
it's pretty crazy. They will burn the shit out of somebody. Yeah, but
It's definitely fun though. Like you can't deny that card's
He's-
fucking
dude.
fun.
Yeah.
like I was saying, man, the intimidation factor is just too much. I think for a lot of people. A lot of people just like quit the game when they see me get fucking Pastor Craig's Psalm and Santa out there, and they're just like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And
So
that's
I
a good
can
question.
speak
What
much
do
more
they
about
do now?
experience. I can speak the experience of the person who doesn't have Santa who plays against him. And truly, like, the Santas don't bother me all that much because most of the people that I'm playing that have Santa now were people that were already like a super low win rate for me. Like, the people that whaled him up to 4, I'm like, dude, like, you were beating me anyway. This isn't about Zach. This isn't about Simba. Like, you're going to beat Simba anyway. And, you know, now you're beating me that much more. But the times that I'm seeing Santa that are super annoying there are some like hedge players who now suddenly switched over to protect the Psalm Santa, and I just don't want to see more of that deck. I'm just tired of seeing that deck over and over and over again.
It's a pretty cancerous deck, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be running it. I'd go back to full fucking green if I wasn't so close. I'd go back to full green if I wasn't so close to falling out of the top 25.
yeah.
If I was still sitting in the top 10, I would go right back to full green. But
Yeah.
when I fall out of the top 10, well, then I need to get my ass fucking into gear.
Does that mean Maxi's gone? Is Maxi out of the deck?
No, man, Maxi is almost level 6 now. I've been requesting Maxi this whole time. Maxi will be level 6 in less than a couple weeks, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm gonna fucking put him now that I have Santa. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to run him in the Green Dream place with Angel Wendy in there as like an extra healing source, and maybe I can get some extra heals off instead of having regen in the deck, because regen's pretty worthless other than just throwing on Maxi when you have like a level 3 Medusa on you. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do Angel Wendy and Maxi instead of Psalm and
Ancient Wendy, yeah, that's good.
Regen.
That's the one thing about him, because a lot of the commons had, and some of the rares too, had their nuances in their charge ability, but it just wasn't good enough. But now having Santa around to help that out, you know, some of the lower Timmies might get some play.
Yeah.
You might see Kyle the Draw Elves a little bit more
I'm
in something more than just Dougie.
Honestly, I think the deck that I'm most scared of right now with Santa is
The chip deck.
Adventure Fantasy, dude. Kyle the Draw Elves with Dougies
And the Cox.
with Stand of Many Moons and Santa. And
Yeah.
then maybe a Satan in the back to fucking eat whatever gets through.
I will say
I
one
just
thing about
can't-
Santa.
I can't fathom how you get through that.
One thing about relying on Santa, or not relying on him, but using Santa and trying to get the best of him, you are really punished by bad cycles. If you get your
Yes, you
you
are.
get your 3
Really
charge
bad.
people before you get Santa, that can be a
Yep.
really big problem.
all of my losses so far with running Santa have been because of really just shit fucking card cycles.
Yeah, if he's the last card in your deck, like that's a rough game.
Even if he's like the first card in your deck and you just can't get anything out before he dies, if things don't line up well, that's the problem with combination decks where you're like striving to get a specific combo. The more cards involved in it, the harder it is to make it work. So even if I get the Santa Many Moons Santa out, if I don't have Youth Pastor Craig out, they'll just get power bound, or one of them will get fucking
Unholy
unholy
combustion,
combusted. And it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean that's why you run Witch Doctor though, right? Because like he's
and you run Pope, to try to bring back stuff and those sort of things. But you do risk being at quite the deficit by things starting to overrun you at that point. When you're just trying to get a specific combo out, they can build up so much damage that it can just burn through what you have before you can even make it work. So
that's very valid.
Yeah. The more cards you have in a combo that you're going to pull off, it's kind of common sense, but it's something that really affects Santa in general, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, if you lead with Santa and you get Unholy Combustion, and then you're not running Pope too, there goes your tank. So and it's I think it's a little more punishing than dropping like a Osimo or something, because you likely have cards in your deck that you have just to combo with Santa. Like for you, Angel Wendy.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You don't have cards that are necessarily self-reliant. They are more reliant on having. When you're setting up for that combo. If that combo fails, then you're kind of just dead in the water in a lot of circumstances. Santa Many Moons on his own is really good, but he can be stopped a lot easier than Santa and Santa Many Moons can.
Yeah, so the problem is if you use a hard removal on Santa, that means you lost a hard removal for a card that you would otherwise need to get out there, right? So I don't think it's quite as simple as like, your deck is predicated on Santa. I think that he makes your deck better for that. And certainly, like, by running a 5-cost card that gets you an even loss if he gets Unholy Combustion or Transmog, sure, that sucks, right? But, like, you're not necessarily, like, dead in the water. Unless if you're running something like you're talking about, like Angel Wendy and stuff, where you're like, my deck is based off of getting 3 Angel Wendy's in fast succession. Like, that sucks then.
Yeah. I was trying to get at that Santa Many Moons on his own is still very, very strong, and obviously a threat to deal with. But yeah, if you can't pull it off, you can get Enforcered, or it's hard because like you said, it's just an improvement on the original Protect the Som build. So that's really what it is. It's just an improvement on Protect the Som.
Drop dog poo from the standard deck and throw in Santa, right? Like,
who runs dog poo, man? You're all losers. Dog poo's for nerds.
Some of us do. I don't know. Well,
dog poo's for nerds.
Not green enough.
You drop something. You put in Santa. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys gotta fucking chill in chat. Jesus Christ, this isn't fucking elder leader chat bonanza going on.
Yeah, chill, you motherfuckers.
Calm down,
Jesus.
just calm down. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on. All of a sudden I look over and someone's timed out.
Just calm down.
All of a sudden I look over and somebody's timed out. I was like, what the fuck is going on over here?
Glanzer, do you watch Whitest Kids You Know?
Dude, hell yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Calm down, just calm down. Now you have fucked up.
Now you have fucked up.
So what about? No, I didn't mean to like take your job there, Glenn. But like, let's talk about challenge mode, huh?
Yeah. Sure. What about challenge mode? Oh, I didn't add that to the list.
What about challenge mode, boss?
The most recent challenge mode was the pre-made decks, where a lot of people don't like the pre-mades, but I really like them because I think it's really truly.
I hate the pre-made decks.
Dude, I want to make my deck. I think you have to take the pre-mades for what they are, right? Challenge mode in theory has 2 primary components to it. How good are you at deck building? How good are you at gameplay, right? And so when it's a pre-made deck, you eliminate the deck building component from it. But I can tell you as someone who, I play a lot of challenge mode, right? Like a lot of you know on the stream and whatnot that I play a lot of challenge mode and I talk to a lot of people about decks that make in challenge mode. I can tell you that the decks that do well, they get advertised pretty quickly and a lot of people start playing iterations of them. Yep. So truly, like the deck building component is not all that big. And then what you end up having is a challenge mode where there's kind of like usually maybe 1 to 3 meta decks, and they're kind of very, very similar. And so you get a lot of mirror matchups and a lot of similar stuff. So my favorite thing about the pre-made decks is you take that out of the equation, man. Like, you do get mirror matches, but more often than not, you're playing against a different deck than your own, and you're having to figure out, okay, if I've got the Imp deck, how do I beat the Satan deck, right?
Yep.
Like, what do I do to beat the Satan deck with what I have? And I think it makes for some really interesting gameplay and some different decisions than you would otherwise make. I would argue that the pre-made decks are the best predictor in Phone Destroyer for pure gameplay mechanic skill. I think if you are able to consistently play high on those decks, at a high level, and like do serious work with them, you're showing that you understand how to use the mechanics better than the other people that are out there in the field. I think I like them.
I will say that there is a very big draw factor involved in this challenge mode, in having the different decks and what you draw compared to what your opponent has.
Card cycling, mean, or what?
Yep, card cycling wise. Like, you can get a very bad start and not be able to be able to come
because
back.
a lot of the decks, a lot of the
well.
pre-made decks are like we talked about, the combo decks. Like, I mean, that one was a CKI combo. Like, that's one combo, and then it had a couple other nuances. But
yeah,
God damn, man, Canadian Ike combo. I tried using it every time I got that deck.
You're using it all wrong. You don't
Boost, he's dead. Fuck.
Do you know you're supposed to combo on that? So I'm gonna give a shout out to Pillager30, if you guys know who that is. He was comboing his Mecha Timmy, and that did serious fucking work on people. Because all of a sudden you get Mecha Timmy comboed, and they're like, oh, like, it's just a Mecha Timmy. What's it gonna do to me? Well, if it's a Mecha Timmy in challenge mode with like 1,000 health, good luck.
Right.
Like,
yeah, dude, for sure. I definitely won by Robin tweaking other people. For like, honestly, I Robin tweaked PCP one time, and he just couldn't be stopped.
Whenever I had that deck, I stopped because I tried like 3 times. I refreshed the event or the challenge 3 times. I did not do well. I think the highest I got was like 8 wins.
It's because you suck at this game, SDNW.
I know, man. I suck at this game, dude. I suck at this game. But after like the first time of sitting there and trying to boost Canadian Night Ike, I was just like, why? I'm not even gonna play this card. I'm not even gonna play Canadian Night Ike. Like,
yeah,
why?
It's. I mean, but then you lose to someone who 3-bars you with Canadian Night Ike, and it's like, God damn it! I should have unholy combustion.
I'm really just mad that I can't run full Green Dream for challenge mode, because I had a blast doing that in the last few challenges.
Yeah, no,
it was like super, like, there's like, I sat there, I didn't think there was any way I was gonna possibly win with a full green deck in the event before, or the challenge before last.
Dude,
or whatever it was.
Maxi last week, whoo, he was a monster.
No, it was the one even before that. What was it? It was like tanks like sucked or whatever it was. What was it?
Oh yeah, fighters and tanks had more attack but less health.
No, just fighters and assassins had less attack and more health. Was that it?
Oh yeah, that was the
tanks were untouched.
Higher health, less attack.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep. Yeah, and I thought there was no way I was going to be able to with full green, but dude, I had a blast.
It was a monster.
I had a blast making my deck and making my way to 12 wins with that. I hate having to play pre-made decks. I love theory crafting the decks. As soon as challenges drop, I'll sit there and I'll be like this, theory crafting, shooting off ideas and stuff. Love that. Cannot stand to play with pre-made decks. I mean, I can speak more to my team than anything else, but I can say, like, on Illuminati, there's a lot of us that like really like challenge. It's definitely what we get into. Like Melandera, Pillager30, Jokes McGoats, just several of us like take it pretty seriously when we do our best with it. One of my favorite things when the challenge is first like announced is like we'll just go nuts, right? People are like, oh, like I'm over this, like Red Kyle this week. You know, you get all these like cool things coming out and like fun decks getting made. And I do think it sucks with pre-mades where it's like, nah.
Yeah,
guess we all know what we're doing. Like, we're
a lot of people do love the theory crafting aspect.
It's great. Yeah, the bigger issues I had with this specific challenge for the gameplay itself is none of the decks were efficient at taking care of your opponent quickly. Which means if someone wanted to really drag the game out, they were going to. And if someone was a competent, solid player at this game, there's no possible way they were going to get 3-barred in less than 3 minutes against darn near anyone. Like, If you had
you
like
could
Satan deck
stall it
and you got
hardcore.
3-barred, you were doing something seriously wrong, because like that's a hard deck to get 3-barred on. The problem with the Satan deck is it's also extremely difficult to win with a minute left.
Dude, I fucking lost. My only losses in the whole time were with that fucking Satan deck because I went.
Isn't it funny?
Dude,
Yeah.
I was ranked 37. I got the pack the other morning, and it said you are ranked 37, and I was like, no fucking way, because I don't give a shit about my challenge rank. I don't even look at the leaderboard after I'm done. Like, I just want to get the 12 wins, which I typically do, and then I'm done. Like, I'll do it 4 or 5 times, depending on. Some of them I don't like at all, but the pre-made ones I like a lot because I agree with you. I do believe that it is the truest test of like legitimate game mechanics and skills, because you get to combo what you can and try to work. And the best part of it is that you know what the other deck is. You see that when they lead with Mecha Timmy or something, you know every fucking card in their deck, unless it's times where like, some cards are in both of them, which happens every once in a while. But once you see a couple combos, it's like, I know exactly what this deck is. I know what combos he's going to try to do. I know how to try to stop that. I know that I'm going to imp his Witch Doctor when I can't, shit like that. So I think that's the most fun of those ones, because there's the theory crafting of beating the other deck. Whereas in normal challenge mode, you don't necessarily know what you're going to go up against. You could kind of assume that you're going to go up against like the meta. Whereas, if it's Death Wish, you're going to see Bar Brady, you're going to see the Kennys, you're going to see the Butters, like most likely.
Yeah.
But with the Youth Pastor one, I went 12-0 without Youth Pastor in my deck. I went Adventure Sci-Fi, and I used Hyperdrive with Terrence and Phillip.
So the Spell Slinger challenge?
Yeah, the Spell Slinger one. Yeah, and dude, it was so fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Hyperdrive on Terrence and Phillip.
It's stupid, but good.
It's nuts, man.
The best part, actually, I think that challenge is probably my favorite of all the challenges, because the mind games around Youth Pastor drops.
Where are you gonna put him?
Right?
Put him right behind New Kid, so maybe he accidentally hits it. Put him down and then put someone else by him so that it kills him instead.
I'm talking about like if I'm playing people like Jay Shambacon, right? He's on Free to Play Whales. You guys know him. If I'm playing Wargle, like these are the people that play. Like I play 6 to 12 challenges every week, right? Against those people, when you're dropping the Youth Pastor, like, oh man, it's a whole thing. Like, am I gonna drop an Assassin first in a placement that you expect a Youth Pastor, followed by a Youth Pastor right after? Am I going to stall it? Am I going to try to get a counter push going? Like, there's all sorts of things, because if you got a Youth Pastor down and they didn't have one, it's game over. You lose.
Oh.
Like, you don't beat someone that has you spell locked when you're playing the correct decks in that mode. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the Santa Challenge. But the fact is, there are some of these that have like the best mechanic fights that I have seen in the game.
Oh,
My favorite thing about that challenge was just practicing sniping. Just sniping skills. Like, you're sitting there just like, yep, gonna snipe.
Honestly, the best place to put him.
One Youth Pastor Craig that managed to get dropped against me the entire challenge, going like 12.
The bottom of the midline was really hard to lightning bolt him, because sometimes you picked up the wrong card or you attacked the card. That was the best place to put him, because it just it made it rough. Or on the top, because then you had to. Like, if I'm hovering with Lightning Bolt over by New Kid or something, and the Youth Pastor comes on the top left line, you're like, he's not gonna put a Youth Pastor up there. That's like a disaster. So, and then you're like, oh fuck, I missed it.
Dude, you know another really good one for that one was because UC was a common card to use for that. So you drop double drops on your New Kid.
Yep.
So they miss it with the UC, right? They hit the wrong kid with it. Very easy to do.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lightning Bolt kind of sticks on its target, but yeah, UC will do. I mean, I fucked a game up earlier because I was UCing a Santa, and somebody put somebody right in between it, and it's like, you can't choose the target at that point, which is really, honestly, in my opinion, UC needs work.
Have bigger targets,
needs work on its target.
Targets like Satan and stuff. If I have like Satan on the field, I'll drop something right on top of Satan, hoping that they fucking UC that card instead of like Satan. You can try to push units out of the way by dropping cards on top of them, and you'll steal a handful of UCs doing that. It's a good play.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sneaky way to do it. Yep. You sneaky Satan owner, you.
Sneaky Satan.
You gotta be, man. Satan. Satan.
Hirsch, I was like, what are you saying? And then you fixed it to chip deck. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, guys, I think the challenge modes lately have been pretty fun. But I
like
do
him.
think that some of them are just like, sometimes the gimmick doesn't even matter, and it's just like a straight up friendly fight, and it's just, you know, like TMP, Belf, you know, that kind of shit.
Dude, it's been a long time since they had one like that. And I normally would agree with you, Glanzer, but like there's actually been a good stretch where that's not the case.
Yeah, I think the last
I do
one
think-
was the Zap one, because the Zap one is one of those ones where it's like nothing really changes that much.
Yeah. I think there's certain cards that are always good because their stats are really good at the levels that are played at challenge mode. Like Belf is always good, Terrence and Phillip are always good. Like you can go down the list, right? Certain cards are always good. But for the most part, it hasn't been the meta red blue that for a long time challenge was like, I don't care what it is, I'm playing red blue and I'm gonna beat you because red blue's better. Like now they've actually like made it so that's not the case. And I think that's smart to not let you do the same deck every week.
Yeah, they're
I don't care what it
definitely.
is. I'm gonna play mono green and beat you.
You'll play mono green. You'll also be at 8 wins apparently, but you know, you'll play mono green.
Yeah, but he's having fun. Are you having fun?
Exactly.
I'm having fun. I love challenge mode, dude. I'll play challenge mode all day long. I love it.
Switch to mono green right now.
One
Fuck
thing
all
that
you.
I do, my least favorite part about challenge is the ones where, like you said, like this last one, the games could just drag out. So I mean, I did a 6-hour stream, and I did ladder too, but I only got 2 runs in because it just takes so fucking long when each one could easily go to the 3-minute mark or even longer. What's the max it could be? An 8-minute game? Jesus Christ. Fucking nuts.
Well, not like 8, but it's way too long. The overtime would be, I think it's 3 minutes,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Is it 5?
No, it's not 5.
I think it might be 3.
It's long.
It's
dude.
a long fucking
let's
time.
see. It's 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes until overtime, and it's another. It's like a 6-minute match you can go to.
Yeah. I had lots of draws. Lots
Yeah,
of
see,
draws.
that's not, that would piss me off so much. I wouldn't play challenge anymore. If I got a draw, I've never gotten a draw. I don't think I've even ever gotten into past 1 minute into overtime because I either lose or win after like 1 minute. But dude, 6 minutes, I would fucking murder somebody. If I lost, like, dude, I just wasted 6 minutes of my fucking life. No way. Fuck you guys. I'm out of here.
You know, dude, screw that, dude. Like, I don't play this game for progression, right? Like, I truly, like, okay, so every challenge mode, I want to have one run where it's potato farming. That's great, right? I love to potato farm. Like, you play a bunch of suckers, you just, like, you go fucking bananas. You got this crazy score. That's cool. My favorite challenge runs would be playing, like, I'm sorry, I'm looking at SD's deck here. In any case.
Got the mono green going. Mono green.
Mono green. My favorite challenge runs would be like I open up against like J Sham into Wargoogle into back when he was playing Adorna. Like you play like solid players back to back, and if you can hit 12 wins playing them, dude, that feels so much better than a good challenge, like a high score challenge run. You're like, hell yeah, dude. Like even playing field, I can play against the people that are high skill and I can beat them. I love that, dude.
Yeah, I love playing when I'm playing.
Better.
Oh, go ahead, Destiny.
I felt better when I did my mono super suboptimal.
Not Roman, by the way. Not Roman. Roman sucks. I hate Roman.
You suck, Roman.
I'm just kidding.
I felt better. I felt better doing the full like 12 run on my mono green, even though I didn't place like very high, like top like maybe 2,000. But I felt good about managing 12 wins with mono green. So I totally hear you there. Like just doing your thing and fucking getting the 12 wins in a competitive scene, you know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about like actual competitive like decks and stuff, but yeah.
I love it when I'll be playing on stream, and my streams are Thursday nights, right? So I'm playing challenge mode when a lot of the times it's just the banger still playing, and I don't play enough to know like exactly, and I don't look at the fucking leaderboard to know like who's usually at the top. And somebody in the chat will be like, "Oh shit, this guy's a top player," and I'll fucking murk him. I'll be like, "Yeah, boy, top what?" Like I played Warghoul a couple times. No idea he was so fucking good. And I beat him a couple times. Well,
the worst time to play challenge mode by far is Thursday daytime.
Yeah,
probably. If you give it a day, then it gets so much worse.
Thursday night is not as bad because most of the people that run a lot of challenge modes are done. They're like, I have done 20 runs or 15 runs or 12 runs. I'm done, right?
Yeah, man. I played Wednesday, and I played 2 runs, and I didn't meet a single person that I knew. And I only ran into like 2 teams that I knew. Like 2 Merc, not even the main mercenaries, like 2 Merc offshoots, like Merc Awana or some shit. And so I was like, I was just like, God damn it, dude! This is a night and day difference between Wednesday and Thursday.
If you
By the way,
make the challenge as soon as it drops, it's way easier.
I didn't look at chat. There are a lot of very good players in challenge, and I realized I only said a couple names, and there are probably people that are going to give me flack for not saying them. There's a lot of people that are very, very good at challenge mode. I'm just going to leave it right there and just like be neutral about it. Yeah,
Simba.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, the only thing we have left to talk about before we move over to the questions is if we want to talk about the last 2 episodes of South Park, which was the Amazon episodes.
It proved that communism doesn't work. That's what I thought. It gets torn apart by children. I think that's the point.
Yeah, how do you feel about the pro-capitalist South Park episodes, SDNW?
Man, all right.
By the way, we have been going for 2 hours already. I just want to let you know.
I absolutely loved the last 2 episodes of South Park. I loved them. I thought they were great. When Josh started quoting Theory of Alienation and the Communist Manifesto, I was all just like fucking raging fucking hard on. I was like, yes, this is so great. But at the same time, I knew that at the end of the day, that whole idea of people's revolution and everything would be overthrown by people just not giving a fuck, which is like this total apathy, which is like the theme of this entire season. The entire season, the whole theme has been just apathy towards what's going on. And I thought they did it so well. It was honestly, it was in my opinion, it was the perfect way to go out, because there is nothing that contradicts the apathy of the status quo more than workers' revolution. Like honestly, like what, like beyond that, like what is more counter to that, to the status quo? But yeah, I thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. I loved the mole people representing the reserve labor army. I thought that was great. I thought this whole thing was just brilliantly done.
Jeff Bezos talking to you through his mind.
Jeff Bezos talking me through his mind. I mean, beyond that, I thought they really nailed like Marxist theory in this one.
Yeah, there was some deepness to these episodes for sure, and I think some of my favorite parts were kind of throwaway parts, where the one where they're like, oh, we got to get the bike parade canceled, and then he's like, well, what's offensive about a bike parade? And Cartman's like, what's offensive about a bike parade? Fuck you, dude. And he's like, oh, I get it.
I really liked that with the whole one of the underlying themes of the season being cancel South Park. I really liked it at the end. They're just on the like, bridge. You know, what do we have to do? What do we have to do?
Yeah,
to
how do we get canceled? Like, what do we need to do?
I was talking about this with my mom for this. I was like, the first episode of the whole like cancel South Park season was school shootings happening regularly, and instead of it being an actual like crisis, they chalk it up to Sharon being on her period. And I was just like, how do you not get canceled? Like in this day and age, like only
then at
South
the
Park
end,
can do that.
At the end, Cartman's
like they found a way to get away with that type of stuff.
My anxiety's going crazy. I'm gonna shoot up the school.
I know, yeah.
Like only South Park, dude. Only South Park.
So good.
And then Kyle's just like, you're not gonna shoot up the school.
I will say that the last several seasons have been super disappointing, and I actually thought this one was pretty good. This was like a solid, like
this was a very strong season in my opinion. You know.
Yeah. And I haven't generally liked the idea of continuity as they've tried to build that in over the last few seasons of like having plots like build. But the way they did it this time was good because they had kind of different ways of playing it out. And the stupid little things, right? Like, you know, the Randy being a weed farmer, right?
Like it didn't
necessarily like totally change Randy. He was just a weed farmer the whole time. Like it wasn't so bad. I kind of liked it. I thought it was a good season overall. I was happy.
Yeah, I agree with you. The one where
my favorite season since 19. 19 was the PCP, the PC principal season where he was first introduced, and I like that season because it had the entire theme of the season was neoliberalism, and it was a really good, well thought. one of my favorite things about South Park, especially in the newer seasons, is the social commentary, and they did it so well in season 19. But then season 20 really it. Season 21 was kind of it was just it was all right. But yeah, season 22 this season they did really well on picking a core concept and sticking to it, but at the same time each episode maintaining a freshness.
Did you guys catch that during the bike parade? President Garrison was there, and he was in handcuffs.
Yeah, he was in handcuffs.
Yeah. Some of the little nuances they do are great, but no, I agree that the season they did where it was like all like one story kind of overarching wasn't as good as having each episode. I mean, other than the two-part episodes, having each episode have like a definitive beginning and end, but then small nuances of each episode continued, like the PC babies, the strong woman kind of side plot, or like you said, Randy and the weed farm, or just the small little, or the like they even brought some of the school shooting stuff was kind of talked about sort of throughout, and then the anxiety stuff they kept going a little bit throughout some of the other episodes after that one. So I think that's the way you do it, because that's very sitcom-ish, where like House, where like those situational things where it's like every episode has a definitive beginning and end, but then each episode has a little bit of the main story arc happening in it. Not a whole lot, but just like a tiny little bit you get to know. Because then it's like, I want to see what happens next week, because I want to kind of know. But then at the same time, you can watch it in syndication and not have any idea what the fuck's going on other than that episode, and you're just as entertained, which is a really great place to be.
I really think they got it right this season. They really did. They absolutely nailed it. And if they were going for getting themselves canceled, I mean, they failed miserably, because this season was very well done. It really was. Like, it was a good season. You can't get around it. So I don't know how they're gonna get themselves canceled. If they're legitimately trying to get themselves canceled, I'm sure it was just a ploy.
No,
just a stunt.
I mean, they did say the C word.
It's
Yeah.
Let's hit the Q&A.
Dude, totally. I was just going to say that. So if you're watching on YouTube, this will be on a different clip. I'm going to link you guys to SDNW's YouTube. Simba, do you have a YouTube?
No.
Well, I'm going to link you to his Twitch account. Both of these guys stream on Twitch, so make sure you check them out. I dropped the links in the chat earlier. But we're going to move on to the Q&A. We got about 23. Probably not all of them are worthwhile. But I do say that there are some really good ones in here.